Hey Tom, this is Paul. So I think I mentioned this before, but I also mentioned it in the email. We thought we had all the interior parts, and we ended up having about a third of them. We had one box seat, or one seat frame. We had a few floor frames and one seat back, and so the rest of it we've had to build from scratch. So that has taken us a little longer than anticipated. We have the interior back out of your boat. We're getting ready to install the engine, and we took it out for painting, staining, and varnishing depending on which parts it was. You can see we've added two new timbers in here. These two are the engine stringer width is too wide for the engine, so it's very common. This is probably the guy that was restoring just never got to this stage where he would be adding extra meat where the engine goes, and so and that gets us the right spacing as well. So the other thing I wanted to show you was actually, I don't know if you've seen your engine since we got it all detailed and everything in the proper color. So we brought it over yesterday, and as soon as we get this big boat back here out, we're going to install the engine in your boat. So that'll be sometime today. Over here we have some of the seat frames and some of the parts for the interior of your boat. We have a center cockpit seat frame, rear cockpit seat frame, and front seat frame. We also have the kick plate for, which is right here. It's upside down, but that's going to be the kick plate for where your feet go when you're in the driver's seat. We have over here some of the metals. I'm not sure if I sent you a picture of those. So this is your rub rail, and it's all stamped with the proper version of the point on the end. It's got the right spacing and so forth. And then out in the varnish room, we have all your seat frames and seat backs, and it's all painted. So you see this gray paint. This is one of your seat backs. There's a piece of flooring, another piece of flooring, yet another piece of flooring right here, another piece of flooring here, another seat back right here, two pieces of flooring here, and the third seat back here, and your engine hatches, and another piece of flooring, and yet another piece of flooring. This stuff down here is for another boat right here. We also have we removed all your ceiling boards for staining and varnishing. So these are a couple ceiling boards out of the rear cockpit. This is a ceiling board out of the front cockpit, and we've added the glove box and added a frame also. You'll notice that these planks are really wide, and they had a tendency to cup. So what we've done is we've added a layer of 1/16 inch 3-ply marine plywood to the back, BS 1088 plywood, and the purpose of that is to keep this wood from cupping. So these are in the varnish room in preparation for stain and varnish. So let's see. The other thing I needed to show you was the hatch binding and the continuous hinge, and they're in a bin that we have your parts in. And let's see, let me find that.
Who's that?
I'm doing a video for Tom Shade. There's Taylor.
Oh, you might want to rethink that video reference.
No, it's just fine. Oh, what were you doing? Picking your seat. My son was evidently going to the movies. He was picking a seat. Anyhow, this is hatch binding. This goes on, as an example of it. The blue is, of course, just a plastic protector. This will go on the edges of the engine hatch. And then we also have the continuous hinge over here that goes this is a continuous hinge that goes on your on your engine hatch. It's a piano hinge, essentially. So that's those pieces. And then we have the spray rails that will be, these are spray rails that will go, actually there's just supposed to be 2 spray rails that will go on your, down low on the boat, on the side of the boat, to keep the spray from coming back in the rear cockpit, or reducing that amount. I don't know that we're going to keep it from coming back, but we're going to reduce that. So I just wanted to show you the progress and sent you some invoices. So if you have any questions, of course, feel free to email or call. Thanks a bunch. Oh, and I'm working on figuring out a delivery date. So one thought I had was, gee, in goal setting, I don't like arbitrary goals. Have we got an anniversary or a birthday or something that we can celebrate with the delivery of this boat? Thank you.